I remember very vividly my first day going into country. We walked off the plane, and I remember this blast of hot air, hot and humid air. And I was dying because I was in a suit, and I had just come from winterized Utah, and so it was very. The heat wave was very, very astonishing at first, and then I got to like it. One of the other weird things is I saw geckos everywhere. They were just all over the walls and stuff like that. And so after that, we obviously went into the mission president's home, and then we did an activity called Dan Jones. I'm not sure if they still do it out there. I know almost all missions have an activity similar to this, where some of the zone leaders and the APs will go ahead and take missionaries out and place a Book of Mormon and get a return appointment, if they can. And I went out with a guy named Elder Carlisle. He was an AP at the time, and I loved the guy to death. He spoke Thai beautifully. I can still remember it. But it was a really special experience. We didn't necessarily, give anyone a commitment to be baptized or something, but I remember him teaching with boldness. And a lot of the times he just looked at me like I was a regular missionary, even though I did not feel confident in the slightest. But it was he made me feel important. And then, of course, I got my trainer at Moves meeting and stuff, and it was an interesting bus ride out to my first area. My first area was a place called Buriram, and it's on the border of Cambodia. And because I learned Thai in the MTC, but they don't teach you that there are different dialects once you get out into the country. So I served a lot of my mission in the eastern part. Because in Bangkok, they speak very proper Thai, but in the eastern part, they speak a language called Isan. And it's a little mixture of Thai and Laotian, and sometimes Cambodian words get thrown in there depending on which province you're in. So I had no idea what was going on again. So I had to learn, another language, basically. It was very similar to Thai. Like, it was easy to pick up on once I improved my Thai and stuff. But I just remembered the heat got to me. The food wasn't bad. It was just a lot more spicy than what I was used to. I grew to love it, honestly. Like, it was so good, and I miss Thai food. Yeah, that's about my first impressions of the mission. It was hot, but the work was totally worth it. I grew to love the people so much, and the culture, and just everything that they did.
So the first week, yeah, the plane ride was really long, and so when me and my group was really big. It was just a big group of about 35 missionaries, which was unheard of. We all flew over on this plane ride, super long, and just tired, so tired the first day. And what they have you do in the mission office is go around and get your blood tested and take a photo and do all these sorts of things that are kind of like business things. And I remember sitting on like the mission couch in the office with me and my companion, and we fell asleep sitting up. And I don't know what happened, but 30 minutes later I came to. So that shows how like tired we were that first day. But I remember walking in to the airport and feeling like I had walked into a sauna. It was so hot, and I'm from Arizona, so that was good. I was kind of surprised because we left and it was snowy in the MTC. And we got to Thailand, and it was definitely the eternal summer that I experienced the whole time. It was awesome. It was like defrosting. But yeah, so getting used to the heat was like one of the first like adaptions that we came to. And then realizing that nobody really spoke English. I guess that was like one of the weirdest like realizations, especially when I got to transfer meeting and my trainer, Sister Panida, was Thai, and I was like, they can do that? Like, wait, how am I supposed to get trained in Thai? Aren't I supposed to know what I'm doing? It turns out that the gift of tongues is totally real and true, and you can understand what's happening without knowing all the words. So that first week was me and my companion learning how to communicate, which I wish had subtitles, but at the time I wish that. But it really was a huge benefit to me, language-wise, later on. I got so used to listening to her that I understood kind of how she talked within about the first, 5 days, I could understand over half of what she said natively, which makes no sense. I didn't really like know the exact words that she was saying, but I like could feel like, okay, this is what we're doing, and have no way to describe why I knew that. So the Lord really supports his missionaries regardless of what calling or what you're placed in. I definitely did not expect to have a Thai companion in the first bit. So like when we got there, my very first day was a water festival called Songkran, and it's kind of like a big excuse to throw water at people. And there's really no rules. People with laptops and business suits on motorcycles get drenched every day. There's really not a lot of like courtesy rules and stuff. So that first day, I moved out to an area that was just rice fields. It's called Udon Thani, and pretty much I got my biggest culture surprise. First off, like lots of water, and they used powder. They kind of use like a baby powder they just like wipe on your face. And they were so excited to see a foreigner walk in there that like the first word that I heard all day, every day was farang, farang, farang. And there's like, I swear they taught their children this since they were like 2 years old, because there's like a toddler running down the street and could recognize that I didn't belong. And it was just like culture shock in the greatest way coming in on a holiday.
Well, I remember walking off the plane, and there's kind of a covering, you know, like when the plane goes up, they have like the hard part, the hard walkway. They have that kind of like flexible accordion type thing that connects it right to the plane. And I remember walking through that, and it was, I guess this was in Japan, actually, and walking through that, and it was the middle of the day, and it kind of lit up the top, so it was orange. I just walked through that, and why do they have a heater right here? It's like one of those glowing orange heaters that they have in the winter. And I looked at it for a couple of seconds and realized it was just the sun coming through the orange part. And same thing again when we got to Thailand. So second you got there, you're sweating, you're hot, your suit starts sticking to you. And then just being in a different country, just totally different, was just kind of a new experience. It took me a couple transfers, you know, a couple months to get used to just waking up and looking outside and there being like plants I'd never seen, people that look totally different, hearing different language all the time. So it was really fun and really exciting every day.
First impressions, tired, exhausted, especially first arriving, hot and humid, but excitement, a lot of excitement and change, and feeling like a fish out of water at the very beginning. Those were just a lot of feelings at first. I think I just remember probably the biggest impression was just the feeling of I'm here to work, and like that's kind of most of what your mission is. You hear a lot of the stories about the miracles and incredible experiences which happen, and they will happen, but when you have faith and stuff. But I think there's going to be a lot of pressure and stress and work behind it all, but you're always happy, and especially when you make friends and stuff. So when I got there after hours of flight and just feeling really exhausted from that, and got there, we woke up really early. We were late to the transfer meeting, so we couldn't have breakfast at the hotel they had to stay in, and just kind of half awake at the transfer meeting, and then they introduced us to our trainers, our first companion, and I got put to the area, I think at that time it was the farthest area from the transfer meeting. It was like one of the farthest way outside of the mission home, and it was Chiang Rai, and so we got on a bus, and we took a night bus overnight. It was 11 to 13 hours trip to Chiang Rai, and we got there at 6 in the morning, and we started to work and plan. We kind of finished up a rough weekly plan, and then we had some appointments we had to go to. So that was kind of me getting there, little sleep, overnight to my area, and that morning we just started working. It was a really good impression. My trainer did a really good job of showing me what it was to be a missionary.